What if the biggest mistake people over 60 make is believing they already understand life? What if the habits you trust the most right now are the very ones quietly costing you time, health, and peace? I am 60, and it took me 30 years to learn something most people never realize until it's too late. At first, it didn't look like a mistake at all. It looked like responsibility. It looked like success. It looked like doing what you're supposed to do. But something was missing, and that missing piece changes everything. The clues were always there, but they didn't line up until recently. The fatigue that didn't match the workload. The stress that lingered long after problems were solved. The quiet sense that life kept moving faster while meaning felt thinner. For decades, I assumed this was normal. Most people do. That assumption is the trap. To understand what really went wrong, we have to rewind the timeline. It starts in early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, you're taught a simple equation. More effort equals better outcomes. Work harder, stay busy, say yes. American workforce studies from the late 20th century reinforced this belief. Productivity became identity. Long hours were praised. Rest was delayed. The cause was clear. Economic pressure and cultural expectations rewarded constant motion. The effect was subtle but lasting. People learned to ignore early signals from their bodies. Stress was reframed as motivation. Exhaustion became proof of commitment. This mindset worked for a while, then changes start quietly in the 40s. Research from large American health surveys shows that around midlife, recovery begins to slow. Sleep quality declines. Muscle mass decreases. Stress hormones like cortisol take longer to return to baseline. Most people don't notice at first because the decline is gradual. But behavior doesn't change. People double down. They add supplements. They push harder. They assume the problem is lack of discipline, not changing biology. Here's where the mystery deepens. Why do though many people who do everything right in their 40s feel worse, not better? The answer doesn't fully reveal itself until later. Now comes the shift after 70 that most people completely misunderstand. Aging science shows that after 70, the body's priorities change. Maintenance replaces growth. Protection replaces performance. The nervous system becomes more sensitive to stressors that once felt manageable. Loud environments, emotional conflict, overpacked schedules. But here's the twist almost no one talks about. The damage is not caused by aging itself. It's caused by continuing to live as if nothing has changed. This is where decades of habits collide with biology. The breaking point arrives differently for everyone. For some, it's a health scare, a cardiac event, a fall, a diagnosis that forces a pause. For others, it's emotional, burnout, anxiety, a sense of emptiness even when life looks full from the outside. American longitudinal studies show a sharp increase in stress-related illnesses, sleep disorders, and mood disturbances in adults entering their late 60s and early 70s. The pattern repeats across millions. The cause is cumulative strain. The effect is a body and mind that finally refuse to compensate. This is when the fallout becomes impossible to ignore. Health fallout comes first. Chronic conditions worsen. Recovery from illness slows. Medication lists grow. The system is overloaded. Money fallout follows. Medical costs rise. Early retirement decisions made under stress reduce long-term financial security. Many seniors report that unmanaged stress in earlier decades directly impacts their finances later. Lifestyle fallout may be the most painful. Relationships suffer. Energy for meaningful activities disappears. People feel trapped by lives they spent decades building. At this stage, many seniors turn to the failed fixes. One failed fix is nostalgia, trying to recreate the pace and habits of youth. More travel, more commitments, more distractions. This often backfires, increasing exhaustion. Another failed fix is avoidance. Withdrawing completely, canceling everything, waiting for motivation to return. That motivation rarely comes on its own. A third failed fix is blaming aging itself. accepting decline as inevitable rather than questioning the systems that caused it. Here's what took me 30 years to learn. The problem was never effort, the problem was direction. For decades, life was built around external demands, work, expectations, approval, achievement, but after 60, those drivers stop working the same way. American aging research consistently shows that the biggest predictor of well-being in older adults is not activity level alone. It's alignment, doing the right amount of the right things for the stage you're in. This is the part most people miss. So, what does this mean today? It means recognizing that wisdom isn't about knowing more. It's about unlearning what no longer serves you. It means understanding that rest is not weakness, it's strategy. It means realizing that saying no protects more years of your life than saying yes ever did. Now let's bring this forward to what actually works. Here are 3 direct actions people over 60 can apply today. First action: redefine success. Success after 60 is not productivity, it's sustainability. Ask yourself daily, does this add energy or drain it? Build your schedule around what restores you. Second action: protect recovery like it's non-negotiable. Prioritize sleep, quiet time, and low-stimulation activities. Studies show seniors who actively manage stress live longer and maintain independence longer. Third action: invest in meaning, not motion. Relationships, learning, and purpose-driven routines outperform busy schedules in every major quality of life survey. Now here is the clear warning. Evidence shows that ignoring chronic stress after 60 accelerates cognitive decline and physical frailty. Pushing through no longer builds resilience. It erodes it, and here is the open thought to sit with. If you could redesign your life today based on what your body and mind actually need now, not what they needed 30 years ago, what would you change first? If this resonated, do like, leave a comment, and share it with someone who feels stuck between who they were and who they're becoming. And for the next chapter, where we break down the habits that quietly steal years after 65, subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next.